Alex Jones, where is it? Was on Bannon's War Room because he wants to get some of that sweet, sweet My Pillow money. By the way, hit the like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. Dershowitz killed him. Right. Dershowitz couldn't fucking squeeze a lemon, much less choke someone to death. But I'm sure he could make some phone calls. But anyways, FBI tried to cover up the investigation. Jones on Patel and Bongino comments on Epstein's death.
Healthcare should be simple, not a constant battle with red tape,
Holy
restrictions,
shit.
and shortages, right? You should have to jump through hoops to get the medications you need.
They're just selling drugs on Rumble now.
This is Howie Carr.
This is Howie. And I'm here getting my ivermectin anal suppositories.
You know what, Maria? Cash is not kidding. We've been personally briefed extensively on every single.
Yeah.
Keep digging, but this thing's a long way from over. Alex Jones joins me. We've got a lot to go through today, Alex, and I want your thoughts on kind of where we stand. But if you look at President Trump's trying to end.
God damn it! Like, Alex looks like he's fucking melting. It looks like if Steve Bannon was a burn victim.
Kinetic part of the Third World War, right? And he, from Russian rapprochement to the situation in Ukraine, which is part of that, to the Israel wants to bomb the Persians like tomorrow night.
Israel wants to bomb the Persians like tomorrow night because they want to destroy the mullahs' control over them. The Persians that he's talking about are the Iranians that were taken over by the Islamic Arab group that took over the country. So those aren't the Persians. They're literally being, you could argue, Persia, the Iran that you're talking about beforehand, has been colonized by Islamist jihadis. But Israel's going to bomb the fucking Persians. Yeah, it's left over from fucking 3,000 years ago.
President Trump's trying to lay hands on all that.
Lay hands on all this. Yeah, he's trying to grab world peace by the pussy.
The big beautiful bill has the $170 billion in it, I think, for $150 billion to deport the 13 million illegal aliens here, that the courts are forcing us into a constitutional crisis, of which we're hurtling towards. And then if you look in the middle of what
why? We only have a constitutional crisis if they say something and he disobeys. If you can't find another way to do it. It's a financial cost that you're talking about, not a constitutional one, unless he breaks the law.
Redoing all the commercial relationships in the world and how that budget is and how it's going to be financed, all of it. And of course, the bond market's not exactly high-fiving us right now, but we're going to work through all this.
Yeah, we'll work through it. I mean, poor people are fucked, but we'll work through it.
One aspect that's continued to concern me, and now you've got this whole Biden situation, is that whole other thing of taking down the administrative state, which Doge started, right? Although the Congress
and failed miserably at
still not codified the cuts and the waste, fraud, and abuse. But even more importantly, it's taking on the deep state. Now, two close friends of yours and mine, and colleagues and people that we respect and pushed hard.
Oh, okay. Patel and Bongino. I thought they were going to be like, we've been getting calls from inside the house
for this job. Dan Bongino and Cash Patel, two of the best.
No one can argue that they're even good at their job, much less the best of the best. Get the fuck out of here. It's insulting to everybody who's actually worked at the FBI their whole goddamn life.
I couldn't understand when I saw that until I read your text and it said it looked like a hostage video. And I go, Alex Jones nailed it again. That's exactly what it is. In fact,
yeah, but Trump is the only person that could take them hostage.
Went back to make sure that Dan and Cash were not blinking their eyes, and I missed the Morse code. What's going on, brother? You've been working this beat for a long time. What is your
the bullshit beat
assessment right now of how? Because I tell you, when they steal it in 28, and they're going to try to steal it in 28.
No, they know the Democrats are going to win in 28 because he knows that Trump is shitting the bed. So he's selling this theft idea ahead of time. Same thing with, watch this around the midterms as well.
Everybody's going to prison unless this deep state's taken apart.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
These people are vicious, Where do you think we stand?
Yeah, they're vicious, but they picked some rando fuckwad to shoot at Trump in Butler and couldn't hit the broadside of a fucking barn. Ended up clipping a piece of glass and killing a bystander.
Now, on coming up on Memorial Day weekend, 4 or 5 months into the second term here, sir.
On the broad strokes of policy,
God damn it. This is what happens when people let Alex Jones on a show he thinks is real.
The trade war, ending our long...
Basically, I'm one of the founding fatheads.
Surrender to the global...
Oh, yeah, by the way, we've had some... before I get into this dipshit, because I'm going long anyways, thank you, trolls, for showing up. We had a bunch of trolls tonight, and, you know... they always tend to leave early when I start covering the Epstein stuff. So since there was so much of it because of these dumbasses, they couldn't really avoid it. So I really appreciate them being here, especially the ones that wrote things in the chat, because again, really boosts our reach in a way that nobody else really can. Our regular viewers, this shows up right along all the normal stuff they watch. Our dear friends, Boston Brian and Beasley and the Midas Touch guys and stuff. If I show up in their feed, that makes sense. People may watch it or they may not if they like my saucy language. But when it drops into your feed, maggots, when the trolls, when it gets in your feed and it shows up in the person who watched this also watched this, the line, which you can't actually affect. It just does it automatically. That's because of you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And they do show up for the gay song. They're big fans of it, and I can't blame them. It's catchy.
System effectively getting us out of the World Trade Organization, taking our power back, really starting to wind down these planetary wars that threaten our very existence on...
Sorry, what planetary war is he winding down? He's literally greenlighting Israel bombing Iran.
The border, on getting trillions of dollars of investment to come in, on relaunching love of our country, on stopping the globalist demoralization of the population.
Yeah, I was being so demoralized by this idea that we're all in this together, we all breathe the same air, and that we should be sharing in the cleaning up of the air and the water. I mean, it's so fucking demoralizing. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't put that on the right. It's so fucking demoralizing. You guys want to see his face? I don't have to, but
when it comes to yesterday with this South African racist president. Who claims he doesn't know anything about targeting white farmers or killing or protecting their land, and then just showing it all in his face. This is a masterclass in how
in being an asshole
to smash the gaslighters. But when it comes to the
yes, smashing the gaslighters, except for this whole fucking Bongholio thing,
structure and the bureaucracy and the permanent state, I would give Trump a C-, but that's because...
Ooh, same as peanut butter dickhead. Really? You're dovetailing behind them?
How dug in it is and how hard these people are fighting back.
Well, no. You don't give him a C- because of how hard it is to do the job. You give him an A for what he's done so far because it's fucking impossible. Right? If you're saying, oh my God, he had no idea how deep they were embedded in there, the deep state is deeper than even the deep undercover, that he didn't know this and now he's having a hard time. You give him an A for just what he's managed to do. If it's that hard and it's not his fault, you give him a C- if he's doing an average fucking job, if he's doing a below average job with a gig that's seemingly easy.
Arrogant they are, but also because it's an existential threat for them if we continue to win. So we're winning, but in the first 123 days or so, 24.
Yeah, you're winning, totally. That's why inflation's at 2.8%. Fucking winning.
Days, you see that massive momentum starting to slow in some areas. And
really? The massive momentum is starting to slow. Well, then it's not momentum, because literally the definition of momentum is an increasing speed. If it starts to slow, it's I don't know. What's the word Trump used for it? I think it's not momentum. It's
Michigan gave us Motang.
That's what it was. Motang, sure.
Very, very concerning. And we see Moody's trying to lower the U.S. credit rating and then trying to lower U.S. bank credit rating because the globalists are so desperate to stop Trump's incredible so far victories.
They're trying to stop his incredible victories at destroying the American economy, which is the goal.
The planet to realign with us. It's just not about trade. Obviously, it's about alliances, ending the neoliberal globalist order.
Yeah, and that whole thing where countries got along and didn't fight, and go back to the kind of gladiator asshole monarchical fighting that was great, that made the Dark Ages great.
That'll never get back into power again. But in pockets around the world, like here in the U.S., if they're able to at least get control of the executive branch again, they are going to not just come for Steve Bannon and Donald Trump and his family and Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson. They're going to come for the entire country, as they've said they would.
No. I think they'll just go after cringy fucks like you. I don't. They're gonna. If you're arresting everybody, nobody's arrested. Like, how big is this prison going to be, dum-dum?
And as they were going to do, they were able to put Kamala in. So this is really an existential threat, as you said. And I really like Dan Bongino. I really like Kash Patel.
Kash? Ew. I didn't realize it was pronounced like that. Kash. Oh, it's Kash. Kash Patel. Well, I'll be in the drawing room playing on the grand piano with Kash.
Recent statements that, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, when it would take an hour to go over the evidence. Obviously, he didn't. It's ridiculous. Neck broken 3 times. That's the coroner. And all the rest of it.
Well, in 3 places, not 3 times. It wasn't like he kept breaking his fucking neck. It's like, this dude, we got to take all the edges off of everything. He keeps tripping, falling, and breaking his hyoid bone.
Turned off, on and on and on. And then to add insult to injury, we've seen all the evidence from Butler and Crooks, and it's open and shut. Nothing else happened here. Bare minimum Secret Service stand down. The FBI trying to cover up the investigation until Kash and
Kash. Ew, Kash. Well, who's gotten to Kash? Huh? Who is actually... Someone's been fooling around and telling Kash what to say, don't you know? Yes, someone's been marionetting Kash, poor fellow. Oh dear. Oh, not Kash. Oh, if it can happen to Kash, it can happen to all of us. Ew. Oh, Kash Patel.
Bongino got in, and then there's so many facets to...
Excuse me, it's pronounced Bongholio.
I've interviewed the private investigators that have been on the ground, very respected, I've known for decades. Like,
yeah, the private investigators have been on the ground. They haven't been in the prison or at the, they haven't seen the corpse, and, they haven't really seen all the details or whatever, but they've read all the newspapers I have, all the ones I spread out on my desk, and fuck, this hurts my throat just pretending to be this rancid fuck.
Hagman, where they got threatened on the ground by FBI to get out of here when they were there for months. So we know the whole background of Crooks and his house being basically completely clean, no utensils, nothing.
They took all of his utensils? Son of a bitch.
Being at this law enforcement training center.
Is there a system by which his handlers were getting messages paid to him on silverware? Like, just, he's... Tell him fork, spoon, spoon, fork on the counter if it's a go, and butter knife, fork, fork, fork if he needs more time. What the fuck does fork, spoon, knife mean? Oh, he's having breakfast. Never mind. Sorry, my bad.
With the geolocation being around the FBI building, he's on top of the building taking the shot for 10 minutes with people saying, shooter.
He was not up there for 10 minutes. Thanks, Groove. It hurts.
Shooter. Nothing being done. You got Bongino for months and months and months in July, rightfully saying this is a cover-up, and then 180, and then the body language. Which almost.
Yeah. How do you not look at his body? That's the thing. Body, wanna feel, wanna watch his body. All right.
Makes it endearing when they're being deceptive, and we all know they are.
Yeah, that was the code to get out, MMCN. Fork, fork, fork. Okay, it's on. Go for it. He's using the drone. It's knife, fork, knife, shrimp, fork, chopstick. One chopstick. What the fuck is one chopstick? Oh, that's a pencil. Never mind. We misread it.
And they look like, in fact, I was going to say that, like in the Korean War or in the Vietnam War conflicts, when they would shoot down our fighter pilots or fighter bombers, and then...
Oh, you mean like John McCain, the guy that Donald Trump said wasn't a hero? Fuck you.
Famous cases of them doing Morse code when they'd been tortured and, forced to say horrible things about America and their mission. They were Morse coding torture. Younger generations won't know what Steve was talking about, but I'm old enough to remember that.
Yeah, because we don't teach real American history. Shrimp fork, shrimp fork.
And so that's where we are. And so I don't want to cry foul on these guys. I'm a big booster of the administration. I'm giving them time. You can always get clicks if you sit there and criticize
for
things. A lot
President
of folks
Trump,
do that.
we've seen in the Biden situation, you've seen the Praetorian Guard where they had this information in 2019 on the Laptop from Hell. We had Rudy on here. I was on the Laptop from Hell team that.
You've never seen the laptop. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have a hard drive called laptop that Rudy Giuliani personally put child porn on and passed it around, which is a crime. Please go on.
Out. They had it. Ray and Barr had it in November 19. They wanted Biden. That's why they protect him. You've done more than anybody to describe the elements of DOD, CIA, DNI, Department of Justice, FBI,
TNT, PBD, DOG, Snoop to the 00.
Elements of DHS and HHS have
and HMS.
Formed a cabal of a Praetorian Guard of a deep state.
You should say Praetorian Guard again. It sounds really cool. It sounds like you know something that you don't when you say Praetorian Guard. You know what I mean? I love words that give you the illusion of education. It's so tight.
Yes.
Yeah. FDT, right?
No, it's categorical. To the degree it's C-. President Trump can't do everything, right? Mm-hmm. Do we need a special prosecutor? What is Alex Jones's recommendation to take down the deep state?
Yeah, how do we do this? Take down the deep state since they've already got Cash Patel. They've already got Bongholio. Trump is fucking partying with the Saudis again and building, and getting close to them. And they were behind 9/11. So how do you should be an expert at this. He's your boy. How does it work?
We have only a couple of years to do it, and they're dug in because they run the most powerful apparatus in mankind's history, sir.
Sir. Sorry, you're saying that Trump doesn't run shit, is what you're saying. Agreed. Okay.
Well, remember the FBI head in New York that they made resign when he hid the Epstein files, when Kosh did, raid him a day after they were.
Kosh. Ew. Kosh. Seriously, his voice hurts to listen to.
To release him. He said, we're dug in. We're in a war. We're Marines fighting Trump. I mean.
Yeah. And then they went, white flag. We give in. I give up. He killed himself. This is all bullshit. Stop bothering me. Stop tweeting shit at me. I don't know. I'm working. I have 10 things on my desk and they're all top 10 things that I've got to deal with. This is a lot of work. I wasn't expecting work. I was expecting to go to a bunch of UFC fucking games with Cash and they've got me I've got to do a budget. Right.
They need to indict that guy. I mean, that is serious. And I know they got the report coming out on Afghanistan and that withdrawal. We need to get that commission and court martials going.
Yeah, it's going to totally happen. Yeah. How about a court martial for anybody who ran and didn't get us out, but they ran on getting us out, like Donald Trump?
Of a million others. It's all cut and dry. We need prosecutions now. And you're the expert on that. We need those mechanisms now.
Oh, you can't pass the buck back to him, motherfucker. He's asking you how you take care of the deep state. Well, if the deep state's secretly running every fucking thing, and you're going to have tribunals and fucking trials and stuff, you think if they're not going to let this shit get through, and they're going to say Epstein killed himself, and you don't believe it, what the fuck makes you think they're going to go after the military or the Pentagon over Afghanistan, you fucking tool?
And we have to start going after these people. Now, we're starting to see corrupt Congress people arrested. We're starting to see corrupt judges that hide illegal alien gangbangers being arrested. We're seeing.
No, we're not starting to see anything. You're seeing little pot shots here and there. None of it means anything. You fucking tit.
Tom Homan scale up and accelerate the amount of deportation. So overall,
well, he yells about it more.
Trump an A+, but you're absolutely right. He was elected the captain of the ship, as Elon Musk said, as you've said, but he has about half the crew that is mutinous. I mean, half of them wouldn't even respond to the Doge email saying, what's 5 things you did last week and who is your boss?
Well, Cash told them not to reply. You know that, right? Cash told them to blow off that whole thing. So is he with the deep state?
So Trump has to crack the whip with all of these people. Trump
Yummy
wants to know what happened in Butler. Trump wants to know what happened in Mar-a-Lago with the shooter.
No, he doesn't. He said it's over. He just told Brett Baer there was no there, that the guy worked alone. There was no big deal.
But notice the FBI was...
whatever, I can't say your name that fast. What congressman was arrested? It was a congresswoman. It was one of the people who went to the, in New Jersey. They arrested her for shoving an ICE agent was the threat. But let's see. Is it Trump? Hold on. Since I'm hanging out, you guys are awesome. Trump, Brett, Baer, Shooter, Butler, something like that. Yeah, this is it. Hold on, let me pop this open. Here you go.
Apologized and said he doesn't.
Well, he apologized
Hold on.
No, I think it's genetics.
Abu Dhabi, the UAE, with President Donald J. Trump. Putin doesn't go to...
Jesus Christ, is everything just a gaudy fucking golden mess? It all looks like somebody trying to shit Bitcoin.
Yeah. You thought about going, if he was going.
Well, I had a problem. I mean, I consider the Middle East very important.
In terms of money.
And I had a problem because Thursday I was going to be UAE, okay? And which is where I am now. We're going to be leaving in a few hours and have another couple of stops. It's a pretty grueling schedule. A lot of people said, how the hell do you do it?
By the way, how the hell do you do it?
I don't know. I think it's genetics. It's good.
Adderall and Ambien.
Genetics. I had
and benzos.
father who was very strong, and I had a mother who was very strong. They lived to ripe old ages, and
yeah, they got dementia right about the age you are now.
Great people, and it's meeting after meeting, and not only that, it's speech after speech. It's
you could tell he's griping about it.
Like big ones, like last night. If you look. He got up and made a beautiful speech. Mohammed, he got up and made a beautiful speech. I wasn't told I even had a speech to make. So I had to make a speech off the cuff. Do you think Biden could do that? I don't think so. Actually, it was pretty good.
Also bullshit. He had a speech in there. He just forgot he was supposed to give a speech. This isn't about off the fucking cuff.
Speech, so I looked at it. It was pretty good. I didn't know I was doing it. So, but you know, it's meeting after meeting.
Like a well-oiled machine that came with directions that said, do not add oil. We miss Harry Anderson.
The highest level people. These are great people. They love us again. They were not feeling love at all. They were going to China. They're not going to China anymore.
You were going to go to Turkey.
That's because China, their economy's slowing down and they're not buying oil.
Doesn't show. Zelensky shows. What do you think?
No, I was never scheduled to go.
No, you weren't scheduled, but you were talking about maybe you would go if it all came together.
But I tell you what,
so what do you think?
I would not have wanted to disappoint UAE because that was my
big
stop.
deal.
And if I went to Turkey, I couldn't go here, and it would have been.
Why not? You're the president. You can't add a stop? What the fuck are you talking about?
Very hard for me to say I'm not doing it.
On the substance, what do you think's going through Putin's mind? You said get to the table. You said stop bombing. He hasn't stopped bombing. He's not at the table.
I know what's going through his mind. Trump is a big joke. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and this dipshit will never turn on me because of what I have on him. I'm just floating that out there, you know.
And what do you think is
happening? Well, he is at the table, and he wanted to.
No, he isn't. He didn't show up. That's the point.
Meeting.
Oh, sorry.
And I always felt.
My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. You're right. It's pretty brutal.
There can't be a meeting without me because I don't think a deal is going to get through. There's a lot of hatred on both sides. I have a very good relationship with Putin. I think we'll make a deal. We have to get together, and I think we'll probably schedule it because I'm tired of having other people go and meet and everything else. And with that being said, I think Steve Witkoff has done an incredible job. But it's a very tough job, and it's a job that, because of position, that I think I'm the only one that's going to be able to do that one. And I think we'll do it fast, too. I think Putin is tired of this whole thing.
Really? Tired of losing or tired of winning? He's tired of winning. He's got to be tired of winning. Winning the death of, whatever, 8,000 of his soldiers a week.
He's not looking good, and he wants to look good. Don't forget, this was supposed to end in 1 week.
Right, because you were supposed to be president when they did this, because that's what they had been strategizing. They were building up their war chest all during your presidency, knowing that you would let them get away with it. And then Biden teabagged this motherfucker.
If he didn't get stuck in the mud with his army tanks all over the place, they would have been in Kiev in about 5 hours.
He was so excited about the Afghan withdrawal that he forgot when is the best time to drive your tanks across marshland.
And who gave the javelins? Do you remember who gave the javelins? Was it Barack Hussein Obama? No, it was Donald Trump gave the javelins.
Who was president when Obama was in? Was it the same guy? No, it was a Russian sock puppet named Yanukovych who fled after Euromaidan and lives, as far as we know, comfortably in Russia now. He might also be dead. Nobody gives a shit.
I think your perception of it has changed. Is Putin now the obstacle to peace in your mind?
Look, I had a real rough session with Zelensky because I didn't like what he said. And he was not making it easy. And I always said he doesn't have the cards. And he doesn't have the cards. And, I'm being honest. He doesn't have the cards. You're dealing with a massive army.
Yeah, but all of Europe has got his back, even without us. And he's still kicking Russia's ass with a skeleton crew.
And you're dealing with some...
Yes, I'm having a marathon, Stargal. I got to drive to L.A. tonight, and I'm just hanging out with you guys. It's a good show. I'm having fun. Sorry to stick around. I don't have to bump to anybody, so I figured, hey.
That's brave, that had great equipment.
But I haven't seen you get personal. On True Social, you said, Vladimir, stop. He hasn't stopped. And you had once said that maybe you need to...
I'm just enjoying watching Brett Baer push him on this shit.
Look at other things like sanctions or banking.
Okay, so...
because maybe they need to be pressured in...
I will end with some kitties, I promise, if you hang in there. If I get 10 subscribers... And some super chats now. I will.
And I'll be doing that if
and do you think that
I don't want to see 5,000 people. Outside of the money, which is a big deal, but the money is the money. The money we can make up. I can make up the money on one trip like this, okay? I mean...
Well, then why were you ever fucking worried about it?
Think of it. This trip, I made 12 times the money that we're talking about. I made that money in a few days. I've always been good with money.
It's not about the money. It's about pressuring Putin, right? I mean,
no. But I've always been good with money. I make money. I made in 4 days. I made 12 times what we spent in Ukraine. So the money is the money. What bothered me, I hated to see the way it was, excuse me, pissed away. I hated to see that checks were sent for $60 billion every time.
Yeah, there was never a check written for $60 billion. This is just dumb.
Zelensky, I think he's the greatest salesman in the world. Far better than me. Zelensky.
Yeah, that's easy, though.
He comes to Washington. He walks out with $100 billion every time.
Because the cause was worthwhile. He doesn't have to be a good salesman. The product sells itself. You might be familiar with that phrase.
He came $100 billion. Now his abilities were shrinking because the last time I only got $60 billion. But Congress is very upset about it. They're saying, where is all this money going?
And I'm focused on
we
Putin.
sent checks. We don't only send we sent just checks. We sent just cash.
God, we sent just checks and stuff, and I want some of that. What the checks? We sent checks.
Where is it? The Europeans have been very badly hurt.
Edit.
By this. They spent a lot of money also. They spent $100 billion. We spent $350. It shouldn't be that. It should have been the other way around.
Also not true, and then 90% of it was spent in the United States.
But are you going to put the screws to Putin?
They have not been treated right by anybody. This is a war that they're, spending a lot of money on. We've been treated worse than them because we had a very stupid person as a president. And if I can solve that problem, and it's a bad problem, because I will tell you, Putin, it was the apple of his eye. He never would have done it if I were president. Never, ever would have done it.
Well, then why isn't he leaving now that you are? The simple thing is like, oh shit, Trump's back, get the fuck out. Like if he wouldn't have done this with you as president, why the ever-loving shit Why wouldn't he just leave now? Why wouldn't he just panic and run for the exits?
I think most people, actually even Democrats, say that it wouldn't have happened.
Nope. If they say that, they're fucking morons. I don't know any Democrats who say that, but they're idiots if they do. This is just dumb. They were obviously planning it. He was building a war chest. They were moving closer and closer. They were testing the boundaries, and then they were going to go when they could. It looked like they'd done it like 3 times. But as soon as they started bringing in the fucking medical vehicles, they knew it was a go. They were planning on doing this. They knew Trump would allow it.
But we inherited a mess. Okay, I think it's going to get solved, but. You know that Putin wanted the whole thing. He didn't want a piece. He didn't want a chunk. He wanted the whole thing. Somebody said, "Well, what do we get out of it in terms of, let's say, Ukraine?"
Right.
You know what they get out of it? A large portion of the country.
It's just there's Senator Lindsey Graham has 70.
Honestly, does anybody know what the fuck that meant? We mean Russia?
Co-sponsors on this bill to sanction Russian oil and anybody who buys Russian oil. He's making the pitch for the bill saying, why should China get the benefit of cheap oil from Russia as Putin continues the war? At some point, there has to be...
Yeah, you could sell a lot more American oil if you don't let them buy Russian oil.
...on Putin. And
he eventually gets to the shooters in this, I think.
Assume that you've talked about that.
Nobody uses leverage better than me. Look what I did to Iran.
I had ribs last night. That's why I'm doing this. I had ribs. What's your name? Sorry.
So it's changing.
It's not changing. I always had that. I will use that if I have to. I'd rather not use that. By the way, that's a big deal. I just put it on Venezuela. It's secondary sanctions, it's called. And I just did it with Venezuela.
And you could do it with Iran, too.
I just did it with Iran. It's basically if you buy oil from Iran, you can't do business with the United States. And you see the ships just leaving that port.
Really? So that seems like it would work with Russia then, too, wouldn't it?
You know, in Venezuela, it was an amazing Chinese
why not
ships.
do it with Russia?
You had to see well, I will if I do. Honestly, I will. If we're not going to make a deal, we're going to see whether or not this is Turkey time. You know, we're talking Turkey.
We are talking Turkey. Turkey, yeah, I think it's pronounced because they went to Turkey. So there was some line about they're going to Turkey to talk Turkey about this. And so he just got that stuck in his fucking empty dome.
We'll see what happens. That would be crushing for Russia because they're having a hard time now with the economy. Oil prices are low, you know.
It would change the dynamic.
Okay, so but he's incompetent. He doesn't want to see the war. Because, you know, everything he said was wrong. The way he talked about Putin, the way he said the threats, I mean, it's just wrong. But here's what was really wrong. He let oil go from $65 to $100.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ, man. You literally went and met with Russia and the OPEC countries, mainly Saudi Arabia, to get them to raise the price of oil.
Putin was making a fortune. Now I have oil down.
Also, no, he wasn't. They weren't. The nest egg that they built for this war chest they built up was already being built up till COVID, and then when COVID hit, oil went to negative $32 a barrel. I'm not doing a live show tonight. I'm doing I am live right now, but my stand-up's tomorrow night. Yes, hi. How are you? Good to see you. Hanging out.
Nobody's making a fortune anymore, and it's going to go down further because I'm drill, baby drill, you know?
Yeah, you are drill, baby drill. No, you're not. No, you're not. The price of oil is going down is because there's a glut, because they were artificially holding back production, and the countries in OPEC Plus can't do that long because it's their only fucking product, right? It was negative 36, DB Golding. Negative. Yeah, I'm at Flappers tomorrow night. If you're in the general Burbank area, please come down and see a show.
Closed up everything, and then he opened it. You know what people don't realize? They said, oh, no, he closed it up, and it drove oil through the roof. And then he said...
Also, he didn't close up fucking anything. Oil production went up the entire time Biden was in office, and it never dropped. Except in the beginning when it was related to COVID, where it had already gone down. All it did was recover the entire time he was fucking in office.
Back to Trump, go back to Trump. In other words, go back to what I was doing. And he didn't, but they did to a large extent. He didn't go all the way.
This is just lazy, stupid.
I would have been double that by that time, but he didn't go all the way. And what happened? He forced the prices up, the oil prices up.
No, he didn't. Recovering from COVID drove the oil prices up.
And that Putin made a fortune during that period of time.
Yeah. Did you see this thing with the former FBI director, James Comey?
I did. I just saw it on the news.
You know, he puts up this post showing...
Also, by the way, 86 was a casino code to get somebody out who's cheating at the table. It doesn't mean kill them. 86ing someone is not assassination. 86 is get him the fuck out of here, for the record.
4647 in the sand, saying cool shell formation on a beach walk. Your director of national intelligence was asked about it last night, and she said this.
Whatever James Comey intent, he and people like him need to be held to account according to the law, which is something that he claims to have given his life for and stands by the rule of law. Fantastic.
This is great, Tulsi, by the way. This is really good for you. Lucky that people can miss the fact that you've been shitting the bed with the intel right now. It's good. It's good. You know, I can see why you would jump on Jesse Waters' show and try to make a big noise out of this. A fucking Instagram post while you're letting like leaks all over the place in your department. Your fucking second in charge was responsible for getting Jeffrey Goldberg on that chat. Literally the guy plugging people into that chat. He was the guy who like is directly responsible for why Jeffrey Goldberg is in that chat. This is a great way to divert from that for a couple of seconds.
Rule of law says people like him who issue direct threats.
It's not a direct threat. Yeah, that's not a direct threat. And 86 means get him the fuck out of here. It doesn't mean kill him.
The President of the United States essentially issuing a call to assassinate him must be held accountable under the law.
Yeah, and that's why he'll be fine, because it's not a call to assassinate.
I believe Comey should be in jail.
Yeah, it also means somebody's cut off at the bar. They use it at casinos. That's where it came from.
I do.
Do you?
So I saw that this morning. You know, there's a big time gap.
There is a big time gap between when you read something and when you understand what you've read.
And he knew exactly what that meant. A child knows.
Yes, children who gamble anyway.
That meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so.
All right. Originated in the 1930s. The slang term 86 means to remove something or someone, has a long history, particularly in the restaurant and bar industries, and is believed to have originated in the 1930s. Several theories exist regarding its, I'll blow this up a little bit so we can see it. Exact origins, but was most likely accepted involves Prohibition area speakeasies like Chumley's in New York, located at 86 Bedford Street. During Prohibition, bars like Chumley's, warned of impending raids, would use the back door on 86 Bedford Street for patrons to escape. While police entered through another entrance, the bartender would tell the patrons to 86 to leave, to beat feet, get the fuck out of there. In the 30s, restaurant staff used code like 86 to indicate that a menu item was sold out or no longer available. Some believe 86 was part of a broader soda counterculture, where other numbers represented different actions or items. The term is also thought to be rhyming for nix, meaning to cancel or eliminate. 86, nix, whatever. Okay, removing a customer, removing an item, and other meanings. That's the primary root of it. Used by soda jerks, that's where the phrase came from. Used in restaurants to 86 people, and there was also this idea that it came from 86 Bedford Street in New York City. So a child knows this, I suppose, but there you go. So no, it does not mean assassinate. It means to get the fuck out. By the way.
Because people like me.
Okay, shut the fuck up. It could also mean, by the way, it could be a message directly to Trump. 8647. 47, get the fuck out. So there you go.
What's happening with our country? Our country has become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized and said he wasn't calling for violence. But
look, he's a very bad.
What do you want to see happen? What do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. I have Cash, I have Pam, I have.
I don't want to do it. My lawyers will tell me if I can bring back somebody in. I don't have the power to do that. Pam, I'll hand everything off. So basically what you're seeing me do is pass the buck on fucking everything.
People. And I'm going to let them, because if I tell you something, they'll say, oh, I'm not going to get involved. But I will say this. I think it's a terrible thing. And when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop. And if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision. But he knew exactly what it said.
It's a dangerous time. I see security around here. It's very tight. You're in the Middle East.
Yeah, it would be it's kind of an important place to have security. Yeah.
2 assassination attempts. One, obviously, where you got hit by that bullet in Butler. There's a lot of
piece of glass from the teleprompter
frustration that we still don't know about that shooter in Butler.
Yeah, it's weird. So this gets to the point we were talking about.
And we don't know about his communications.
Yeah, we don't know what is at the bottom of that. You know, the deep state clearly has Kash Patel and Dan Bongino.
He gets stonewalled all the time asking questions about it.
Yeah, we're trying to get the answer. What is this? What's the story? You're the guy. Don't you want to know?
Is there frustration on your part? Will we get transparency? Will we know the bottom line story?
It's very interesting because we have great people.
Great people. Bongholio. Kosh. Ooh, Kosh.
I think Pam is incredible. I think
she's fantastic. She does all the things, the crying and the yelling and the not releasing the Epstein documents. She's fantastic.
She's incredible. And they're doing a great job. They're being recognized as doing a great job.
No, this is that, like, we're getting great reviews idea.
I was given an explanation early on, sort of a little bit pre them. And I thought it was strange. The one guy had 18 cell phones. Okay. I have a lot of cell phones, but I have like 2. I call that a lot. And I think I probably make more calls than him. It's like, that's all I do. And I had to, why does somebody...
6, by the way, not 18, but whatever.
18. Another one, the first one, the one from Butler, he had 3 apps, very unusual apps, and 2 of them were foreign apps.
Oh, you mean like Telegram and Signal?
And
or actually, Signal's American. Telegram and what was the other one? There's another like Telegram-like app. It's the one from Romania. Anyways, Patel and those guys all use it.
Then he ends up with a white shoe lawyer, meaning a super lawyer from Pittsburgh, the big city. And they live outside of Butler in a little place. Where did they get this lawyer that would represent IBM and would represent ExxonMobil?
But you're the president. Can't you find out?
No.
Yeah, can't you find out? Also, he's dead.
I know.
Do you, though?
I'm relying on my people to tell me what it is. We have...
Yeah, I don't have time to go figure things out.
Deep-seated craziness in this country. Mm-hmm. And I'm relying on my people. And so far...
Right. And so my people have told me this.
And they're good. But so far and in this case it's Secret Service, they tell me it's fine.
That's what they told him. Yeah, the guy who shot you, who he blew his brains out on the rooftop in Butler, it's fine. That's what they told him. Hey, what happened to that guy that tried to kill me? And was there anything? It's fine. Oh, it's fine. All right, that's what they said. They told me it's fine. You guys would accept that, right? Chat room. If somebody tried to kill you, and the cops killed that person, you're like, I don't know. I think that guy was yelling something about he had friends who were going to help him, and it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just fine. Yeah, that's exactly what the fuck. Listen to this.
Service. They tell me it's fine. But it's a little hard to believe, to be honest with you, okay? It's a little bit hard to believe as I get that throbbing feeling.
Yeah.
I get a little throbbing feeling.
Well, if you find it...
What do you get, an ear chubby?
We'd love to know. We continue to ask.
I know. No, I
and a lot of
understand.
people ask us.
It's a little bit strange. We have incredible people in there now, so can't blame that.
You've been very generous with your time. I'll just wrap it up with this.
That's it. That's the whole, like, they were telling, telling the guy the truth. President's saying all this stuff about this. We're going to wrap this up with this thing. Thank you guys for sticking around.
Covering that up, according to the state police in Florida.
Hold on.
That is mutinous. I mean, half of them wouldn't even respond to the Doge email saying, what's 5 things you did last week and who is your boss? And
who's your boss? Fuck. I sent it to my boss, but I guess I was wrong.
So Trump has to crack the whip with all of these people. You know, Trump wants to know what happened in Butler. Trump.
What is RFK Jr.
also,
putting in his drink?
Nope.
That mysterious
methylene blue.
It's called methylene blue.
Yeah.
Wants to know what happened in Mar-a-Lago with the shooter, but notice the FBI was covering that up, according to the state police in Florida. Now it seems to be going on, and I've talked to some high-level prosecutors over the weekend, and asked,
do you? What did they put another grand jury together about you? It's fine. It's fine.
What they thought about all this, and they said, listen. We got to pick our battles, and you know, certain issues that were run by professional crooks like Comey are so hard to penetrate and would take everything we've got. We're
bullshit. Bullshit. This is just fucking dumb. Bullshit. Oh man, fuck this. Yeah, it just like Comey's such a fucking mastermind, and Biden was such a 5th level. We can't even start. If we start down that road, it's going to take every resource we have. What fucking limit of resource do you think the House and the Senate are going to give you to go after people that tried to assassinate the president? Honestly, what the fuck? How much do you think this is going to cost to unravel, dumb fuck? This is ridiculous.
To hit the low level and mid level to make the
low level and the mid level
turn state's evidence very, very soon. I know you talk to a lot of high level sources of the president all the time.
Totally. Yeah. Total high level sources. Absolutely. Primo.
Talk to some of the top prosecutors and you know, they said that's going on. They also reached out to me to say, we know about what happened to you. So not to write myself into the story, you've been persecuted more, but 3 days after Trump got in, I was sent by the FBI.
He wasn't persecuted. He stole money from maggots, literally flim-flam Trump's biggest supporters, and Trump pardoned him for it. The only thing apparently Trump was mad about was that he didn't get a cut of this flim-flam. But he's obviously figured that out with his fucking meme coins.
Part of my file where Obama, right when Comey got in 2013, declared me a top national security threat. I put these documents out months ago. I got them like 3 weeks after Trump was in. Just I got a call. Hey, look in your PO box. It came from the FBI, and it.
They sent you paper copies. It was just like FBI direct, like general mail to Alex Jones, asshat court, Austin, Texas.
The Boston field office. So back to Mueller as well. Put him under national security threat, which is an ongoing, not just criminal investigation, but a full-on secret sanction operation of debanking, harassment, demonization, human intelligence.
Yeah, and little did they know, they didn't have to put all that work in. They just had to wait for you to shit on the parents of dead kids and tell them that their kids had never died and that they were crisis actors or some shit, and just like remutilate their kids' fucking memories every goddamn day for months and months and months until somebody fucking called you on it. If the FBI had only known that you were such a fucking scumbag, they never would have had to spend a dime on you because you did it to yourself, asshole. Like somebody fucking talked them into it.
Attempted infiltrators, lawsuits, deplatforming.
No. Attempted infiltrators. What, somebody in your staff coaxed you into shitting on dead kids? Fucking hell.
I was the beta test along with General Flynn and you.
Beta, I'll agree on. Beta, absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you that you're beta.
They bragged about this on MSNBC. They've had their top lawyers that have engineered it all brag how once we get Jones, Bannon, and others, we're going to get Tucker Carlson, then we're going to get Trump.
Yeah, I remember that episode of Mad Al. It was fucking rocking. What?
And so now more of this has come out. Now, Comey's got his new book out, which they even admit the bad guy that must be put in prison, the talk show host, by the FBI is based on the evil Alex Jones. So they are obsessed with you and I, particularly, because we see right through them.
Or because Steve Bannon was one of the big players on January 6th and helped organize a bunch of it. And you torture the victims of violent crime for a fucking living.
Just have to be as intense as possible with the not just Trump and his
dude. This will be all over when you live in a fucking tent, and I mean broke, you dumbass. Oh God, this is frustrating. Now, chat room, I made a promise at the beginning of the night. I know I went long, but I'm gonna see. Hold on, let me see if I can request something real quick. How'd it go, babe? Okay, this was a rare find because Maddie was laying down upstairs, and there she is. How's your Maddie girl? All the Summer's way upstairs with the kittens, so this is yeah. Maddie's so pretty. Maddie's very sweet. She has the weakest meow you've ever heard. It's pretty adorable. Hello. Such a good girl. Hello. How are you? She's a little clumsy. If she gets into the catnip, she will be twitchy and runs around seeing ghosts. She hallucinates. She's very much like our hippie girl. Yeah, this is Maddie. Maddie's a sweet girl. Hi. Yeah, she cuddles. If you get like, if I'm ever like stuck or late to the show and I'm not doing something work related, it's because Maddie is laying on my lap or on my arm or something, and I feel terrible getting up because she's so sweet. She's very sweet. Orange, you've heard orange cats are special. Yes, Maddie is very special. She's also got, I don't know if you can see it, but her left eye, to you guys, I can't see it right now, but is darker than the other one. It's got like a ring around it. There she is. Hi. It's hard to see. Yeah. Hi, sweetheart. It's all right. That's a good girl. There we go. Yeah. Just a little girl. So there you go. You wanted a cat, and we got one. There she is. Just all wrapped up in a little ball. There she is. She's beautiful. And she doesn't shed as much as the other ones, which is funny. Like our short hair cats shed a lot more. Is it Girlfield? That's funny. Yeah. She's very pretty. She's a sweet girl. And she's got cute little toe beans, and she's very nice. So, yeah, and she's falling asleep in my arms, and now I can't turn off the show. Okay, I don't know what to do because she's so adorable. And, okay, let's see how we make this happen. Let me put this arm under here, pick this arm up. There we go. And then, now hold on, I'm trying to do this. There she goes. She's just relaxing. And we'll go to this. This is Maddie. Maddie says good night. Thank you guys for subscribing and sharing the show.